Hey, I'm Giancarlo.
And I'm Felicia, and this is our review of
Albion.
Albion.
You.
Yeah, I was gonna say Albion Giancarlo.
Oh, well.
Like
You could start cutting right about
bread
now.
on toast.
In Albion, players play as envoys of the Roman Empire in Old Britain to produce the best settlements and earn the favor of the Emperor. In the box you'll find a game board showing the regions in Albion, 48 settlement stage tokens in 4 different colors, 36 fortress stage tokens in 4 different colors, 48 resource plant stage tokens in 4 different colors, 24 rampart stage tokens also in 4 different colors, 84 resource tokens of the 4 types, fish, wood, stone, and gold, 12 wooden circular legionnaire tokens, 3 for each color, 16 wooden settler tokens, 4 for each color, 35 picks, 18 assault and 17 peace tokens, a start player marker, and 28 movement markers, 24 neutral and 1 for each of the 4 colors. The objective of Albion is to be the first to achieve the 3 forced stage settlements, with one of the settlements built on at least one of the regions with a laurel wreath found on the map.
Here's how to set up the game. Each player selects a color and takes all of the tokens of that color. Place the neutral movement markers and each resource type in their respective pile next to the game board. Then remove the pick tokens based on how many players you are. Place the remaining picks face down and shuffle them. On the board, the dark green regions will tell you how many pick tokens to place in that region depending on how many players you are. Once those are in place, each player places his stage 1 fish and wood plant token on the respective region. When the player turn is decided, give the first player the start player marker. The first player takes 3 fish and 1 wood resource. The second gets 3 fish and 2 wood tokens. Third gets 3 fish and 3 wood tokens, and so on. Now each player puts one of his stage 1 fortress and his settler token onto the southernmost light green region, also known as the launching region. In clockwise order, beginning with the first player, each player places one of his stage 1 fortresses into any of the 2 dark green regions, without any imprinted picks on them. And finally, give each player a neutral movement marker. You're now ready to begin.
Here are the only 2 options available for a player's turn: moving and building, or take resources. In the moving and building options, player can move first and then build if they have a settler token on that region they want to build and the resources available to do so. Let me explain movement. You may have as many movements as movement tokens you have. So at the beginning of the game, each player has 2 movements. Movements can be split if you choose among settlers or legionnaires, and you can move in the same region should you choose to, as long as you have enough movement for it. Also, the legionnaire can transport a face-down pick token and drop him off along the way or at the end of his move. Players do not have to use all their movement. Once movement is done, players can build if they choose so. For any stage 1 token, fortress, settlement, rampart, or plant token, the player needs to spend 1 resource. For a stage 2 token, he'll need to spend 2 different resources, and so on. So since you need 3 different resources to build a stage 3 token, you'll have to have at least 1 stage plant token built on either the gold region or the stone region, in addition to your starting 2 resources region. And finally, at least 1 plant in each resource region for a stage 4 token. Now, when building, there are 2 other factors you need to consider besides resources. One is the possibility that picks will attack you, and 2, if you need to pay tribute to other players that build higher stages in that region. Place the token you want to build face down on the region. First, see if any other player's building token is on that region and if they're equal to or higher in stage than what you're trying to build. If it is, you must pay tribute. Give the resources used in building your token to the higher stage player in the region and he chooses 1. Then check for picks, either imprinted on the board or through tokens. If there are any face-down pick tokens in the region, the player chooses 1 and flips it. If it's a peace token, then it's discarded. If it's an assault token, it's added to the pick's power already in that region. Add the picks in the region and this will give you their strength number. If it's more than your defense, which is the total of legionnaires in your area, plus your rampart stages anywhere on the board, then you take back the token you were about to build. If If the pick number is equal to or less than your defense, then you ward off the assault and may now flip your token you were building face up and reap its benefits written on the top portion of the token. These range from giving you an extra movement token or moving a settler in that region at the beginning of the movement when building fortresses, to gaining a legionnaire or settler or even increasing one of your building anywhere on the board by one stage when building a settlement. Regardless of whether the build was successful or not, the settler token used in the construction must now be placed back in the launching region. If a player chooses the Take Resources option at the beginning of their turn, they count their plant stage on a resource region and they take that many resource token. They do this for all their plants in each resource region. Play then proceeds to the next player until 3 4th stage settlements have been built with at least one on a Laurel Wreath region. Then the current round is played to see if any other player can finish their 3rd, 4th stage settlement as well.
The production value of Albion is okay. Rulebook is easy to read with lots of examples. The board is a little bland but not enough to bother us. However, the gameplay did. Playing Albion felt like it was more of a race than coming up with strategic or tactical advantage to overtake a player in the lead. There isn't much player interaction in the game besides paying tribute or somewhat stalling their build progress by dropping off a picked token on a region where he might build. But both of those really have little to no impact. So the player who's in first in terms of build will most likely stay in that position. It's got that steamroll or snowball effect where the player is off and running. And the game feels like it's got a linear pattern to it. Build, then take resource tokens, then repeat. The good part was that the rounds were fast so we could move on to another board game. It's unfortunate because Rio Grande has some of the best games out there on the market, but they missed the boat with this one. We give Albion 5.5 stinky fish resource tokens out of 10.